Hey guys and girls, today I'm putting together a video a day and a half before I set off 9 hours across the country to beautiful Harriettville, Victoria. Today we'll be replacing the tent of the Drifta rooftop tent, the Desert Cruiser 1.2. So if you are interested in doing this because you have damaged the tent or whatever, or didn't open it up after your last camping trip like I did, bit of a head scratcher, then stay tuned. Bit of a sad day for the Desert Cruiser rooftop tent. Even after some serious scrubbing and 2 washes, you can see there is some serious staining going on in here. On the sides as well, and on the flap here as well. So it doesn't smell like mold in here anymore, but it's stained. And moral of the story is, even if you don't think your rooftop tent is wet, open it after you get back from every camping trip. So anyway, I've had to cop that one on the chin, and we'll be replacing this tent today and also putting in some insulation lining that you can buy from Drifta, which I'll go into more detail about later. First thing we'll be doing is taking that fly off, which is pretty simply a matter of a couple of straps, a few Velcro strips and a few clips up the top. First part to taking the tent off is these few clips on the front bar here, and then you'll see there's one either side with the screw in it, so you'll just need a Phillips head screwdriver to take them out. Alright, that's the easy part done. So once all your clips are out and the tent's laying down like this, you've actually got these like rope tracks here all around the tent, and then underneath that, so if we pull that one out of there, you see here we've got straps. So you basically have to get underneath here and unstrap that. So get your fingers under it, and you can kind of pull it around at the top once it's loose, and just pull it out. So even if it doesn't look like it and looks like I'm struggling, which I am, I have had this out before, obviously, to wash it. I found that basically the method is you work from, when you're taking it out, you work from the back to the front, and then vice versa when you put it like the opposite way when you're putting it back in. So you get your front ones in first and then clip kind of back and diagonal. As you can see here, if I try and take this zip track out, it's stuck because of that strap up there. So you kind of got to work from the aluminium casing back. All right, so old moldy tent out. Now we've got about $1,000 worth of, or about $900 worth of stuff here. Yeah, fair expense to replace it. But we're looking at, we've got here the rooftop tent replacement and the insulation to go inside, which is going to be a step up from what I had. I've grabbed a Dasha 1100 mattress, so it's going to fit in with about 35 mil either side. And then obviously just some flannelette sheets and a mattress protector. So yeah, I've got a little bit over and above. Like if you were just replacing the tent, it's $400 from Drifta. And hats off to Drifta. This came within 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and it was here Wednesday. And that's like other side of Sydney to Mount Gambier. So that's just an incredible shipping time. They were so onto it. And Dasha as well, that came from Adelaide overnight. So just fantastic. I know the plastic wrapping said do not cut, but all I had were matches and it was going to take a long time to try and burn the plastic off. All right, well, it looks like the right tent for me, so I reckon we've still got a little bit of daylight left. It's not quite 6 o'clock, so we'll get into it. All right, so the first thing I'd be doing here is getting orientated with the tent. See which way we're facing. I reckon that this is the entrance here. Now this really is the difficult part because you've obviously got to work out what order are you going to put the tent back in. I found it worked best starting from the front of the tent. So getting those two rope rails in, and then basically your next two rope rails are also at the front of the tent. So you can kind of get them in and start getting straps on where you can and just work your way to the back, because the back rope rails are only tiny little things, which means you don't need a lot of tent movement. So get your big ones in first and then move back to the rope rails that don't require a lot of movement, would be my suggestion. It's moments like this that I really wish I had my own personal cameraman. So now that I've got those zip rails in, I've actually just thrown the tent over the side to see what we're up against in the way of straps. So you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 straps, 2 on each side, and none in the middle here. And that's kind of the way all the way down. So 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6 from what I can see, and nothing so much in the middle. So just keep that in mind when we're strapping the tent in. All right, so the trick with these straps is you're going up through this back gap here, and then you're going down through the front one and pulling tight like that. So what you're going to kind of do here is get that strap around there, go up through the back, get it started on the way through the front, like that, and then you kind of got to get your finger under the other side and pull tight, like that. Give it a bit of help on the other side, but there you go, it's not going anywhere. Once you've done that first row of clips, you'll see the next lower row of straps or clips line up with the back of that rope track, so you can go and put your rope tracks in on the side, and then your next clips are going to be right there. All right, then pretty simply you've got a final row of clips here, so you can go and put your rope track in that last rope track, and then you've got clips along the last row, so 4 just like all the others. All right, I'm just about to do my final clip here, so it's about half an hour to get all of them in so far. Now, just in case you were wondering, this is how I've run power up to the tent. So as much as it pains me to do this to a brand new tent, I've made a small incision in the canvas here, and that Anderson plug basically just pokes in there and then hooks up to whatever you need in the tent. But it does run up quite neatly under the mattress and all of that. So whack those last clips on and screws in, and Bob is your uncle. Well, Peter's my uncle, but maybe Bob is your uncle. I don't know. Is Bob your uncle? All right, so we got pretty much finished last night. First thing we'll be doing this morning is chucking the fly back on, which is super easy. And then we'll be installing these insulation layers that I'm pretty keen to test out. And then finally, we'll be putting that Dasha 1100 mattress in the tent, and I'll let you know what I think about that compared to the stock Drifta tent. It's the stock Drifta mattress. So basically the idea of this insulation lining is that it goes up and hooks onto all the clips around the outside and provides, well, pretty simply an extra layer of insulation. Does that mean that it goes around? So they must go up front, surely, or is that the front? No, that's definitely the back. All right, so you've got a roof, and you've got clips that are along the back of the roof, like that, and then you've got clips on the front of the roof here that go up the front. So you have a door on one side, and on the back you'll basically have this cut out here that goes back to the aluminium casing. If you can't tell, I've just gone and basically strapped it back up. I've opened the door, and if you get in here, you'll actually see that there's a Velcro strip and bag in here already. So our light strip will just be able to go back up inside the insulation. All right, and finally in all of the corners, you'll see these elastic strips here, which I am assuming go under your mattress to basically hold the corners back in place. Otherwise it's all just kind of sitting there loosely. And basically the final touches, apart from bedding, is this Dasha all-terrain mattress. Now I can hear you right now, and I'm going to answer your question. Why did I go for Dasha when Drifta make an upgraded mattress for the 1.4 and 1.2 rooftop tents? Well, first thing being that I knew I could get the Dasha overnight from Adelaide, and I wasn't too sure that the Drifta stuff was going to rock up this week. So that was a bit of a, wow, I really need something to sleep on, because I had to throw my old mattress out this weekend. And secondly, being it's self-inflating, and it's 100mm thick. I don't actually know and can't seem to find how thick the Drifta one is. So if you know, put it in the comments below. But I figure 100mm of mattress thickness is pretty good for camping, and being self-inflating, might be able to push it down a bit and might have a better chance at packing this up really neatly with all my bedding in it. Righto, so deflated, you can kind of get a bit of an idea there, but it's got plenty of room to, you know, there's about, like I said, about 35mm either side. That'd only be, you know, 15-20mm. Once she inflates, 100mm. So Yeah, as long as you can get it packed down to close to that each time, then it's going to fold up without a worry, I reckon. Make sure you tune in to the next video. We'll be heading up to the high country in Victoria for a camping trip, and you'll see exactly how I went with all the new tent and bedding.
What?
I think I filled my tent up too much. Crunchy.